Freedom Friday. What's going on, militia? Welcome to Pew Pew Nation TV. Glad that you guys are here today. Man, today I have got a lot of information, as I usually do on Freedom Fridays, because there's just too much going on in the 2A world and I just need to share. Yours truly. So today, is there hypocrisy in gun control? Let's get into this and find out. Because this is just getting to the point where it's driving me nuts, and I'm going to be doing some heavy duty contrast. But first, let's have a listen at the giggler. You guys are going to love this.
When we talk about the need to keep communities safe, and keep communities safe in particular from gun violence, there is a way to do it that can reject and should reject false choices that suggest that you either are in favor of the Second Amendment or you are in favor of smart and reasonable gun safety laws. We can be both.
This has become a zero-sum game. It's become an all-or-nothing game, and it's ridiculous. We need reasonable gun laws in this country that include background checks.
The Department of Justice under my leadership has taken almost 10,000 guns out of the hands of people who were legally prohibited from having them.
When you see the effect of this extreme violence on a human body, and especially the body of a child, maybe it will shock some people into understanding this cannot be a political issue. We have to be practical.
It's simply about saying we need reasonable gun safety laws. There's no reason why we have assault weapons on the streets of a civil society. They are weapons of war. They are designed to kill a lot of people quickly.
And we have made some progress. For the first time in 30 years, our President Joe Biden signed a federal gun safety bill. And it strengthens background checks, and it closes what we call the boyfriend loophole, and it includes funding for mental health services and school security. But we have more to do.
We always have more to do. Kamala Harris on gun reform. I mean, if that don't beat all. Yeah. Well, I got news for you. Okay. The hypocrisy factor is just off the charts. I'm going to go ahead and take you over now to the state of Oregon. Okay. You know that state, Portland, Oregon. Well, the entire state is not really that bad. From what I hear, and my understanding is that the southern portion of the state is pretty much, on the straight and narrow, and they're just good to go. I actually know a gentleman that lives out in the southern portion of Oregon. But this is something that was just put to measure, and I have it right here for you. A lot of stuff to cover, right? Here it goes. Oregon, faulty gun control ballot measure summary approved. Okay, this is a faulty gun control ballot measure that was approved. It's faulty, keyword faulty, right? This is what they just got. All right, so this week, the Explanatory Statement Committee approved ballot measure 114S, formerly IP17, summary that will appear in the voter pamphlet. The explanatory statement is supposed to be an impartial, simple, and understandable statement that explains the ballot measure. However, the approved explanatory statement is misleading, complicated, and difficult to comprehend. To properly inform these guys are nuts. To properly inform the voters of Oregon about the actual effects of ballot measure 114, the NRA has provided an explanation of the actual effects of the measure. Okay, so they drew this thing up in a language that was so difficult to comprehend. It just made zero sense. So the NRA stepped in. Their ILA people stepped in, and they basically took the measure that they put forth in Oregon, and they kind of gave it to them back in layman's terms so that people could understand what the hell it is that that they got. Right. So here we go. Ballot measure 114 will 1. Require a permit to purchase a firearm. Remember what I said in the beginning, the hypocrisy of gun control. You just heard Harris, the giggler, okay, tell you about all these steps that need to go into place, okay, to have, the mass shootings stop. Remember that. All right. Remember that. Okay. Because when I get to the other side, You guys are going to be infuriated. All right, so here we go. Number 2, create a government registry. No bueno. And 3, ban any magazine over 10 rounds. All right, so they're going to require a permit for you to purchase a firearm, create a government registry, and 3, ban any magazine over 10 rounds. See where this is going? Now, 1, ballot measure 114 requires a permit to purchase or transfer a firearm. Ballot measure 114 will require a permit to purchase or transfer any firearm in the future. Man. A concealed handgun license does not qualify as a permit. A hunter safety certification does not qualify as a permit. To obtain a permit, an individual must apply for the permit, pay up to $65 to apply, up to $50 to renew every 5 years, provide the legal name, current address and telephone number, date and place of birth, physical description, fingerprints, photograph, a signature, and any additional information determined necessary by the law enforcement agency of the application. Pass a criminal background check, already required by law, by the way. Complete a law enforcement firearms training course, classroom training, in-person live fire training certification, demonstration of the applicant's ability to lock, load, unload, fire, and store a firearm in front of an instructor certified by a law enforcement agency. Applicants cannot obtain a permit without first passing a law enforcement firearms training course. On that one right there, I'm going to say, if you're smart, and most people are, and you're a responsible individual, when you go and purchase a firearm, it would be a good idea to go ahead and get trained in how to use that firearm and take a safety course. Not because the government is telling you to do so or it's required by some stupid law. No, it's just common sense that if you're a newbie, okay, to firearms, you want to go ahead and have some training, man, right? It's like you're a newbie to riding a motorcycle, right? If you've never owned or ridden a motorcycle before, but you have this, oh my God, I really want myself a motorcycle, right? You go out, you find a bike, you pick the bike that you like, all right? And then you learn how to ride the damn thing. You take a motorcycle safety course where they teach you the ins and outs of how to ride a motorcycle. Same damn thing applies to a firearm, but no one or no government agency is telling you if you want to buy a motorcycle, you must learn how to drive or ride it. And you got to get a permit aside from the license and give up your firstborn and blood and the retinal scan and all that stuff. Right? Yeah. There's more. God, these people make me sick. All right. There is no cap on how much law enforcement may charge for the firearms training course. No cap. Got that? Voters should anticipate this being very expensive. The in-person training portion requires live fire, so it must be conducted at a shooting range or other appropriate facility. Shooting ranges may, and also facilities are limited in Oregon. So now there's not enough facilities in Oregon to do what the law is requiring you to do to get a firearm. See, if you guys see where this is going, they're starting to make it literally impossible for you to legally obtain a firearm and then train it according to what they're asking you to do. You understand how this works? They make it so damn impossible that average person is going to say, fuck this. I'm not going to go do this shit. There's no way. And that's what they want. Again, the communist playbook. All right. They provide you with a problem. Then they provide you with a solution to the problem that doesn't fix the problem. Wow. All right. First-time firearm owners may find it impossible. What did I just say? To obtain a permit. There it is right there. Okay. Now, to obtain a permit, applicants must first pass the firearms training course. Yes. Okay. To pass the course, applicants must have a firearm. No duh. But they can't purchase a firearm until they obtain the permit. First-time firearm owners will have to rely on borrowing a firearm from law enforcement or another individual. So, yeah, You're going to go to your friendly neighborhood cop and say, dude, I really need to borrow your Glock, man, because I want to go and train with that thing. Right. We're cool, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Or your neighbor who magically happened to get and pass all the requirements to get a firearm. And he's now going to lend it to you so you can go and train with that. What's wrong with that picture? Oh. Next, law enforcement is not obligated to provide firearms for the training course. Oh, these people are genius. SB 554 passed in 2021 severely limits temporary transfers of firearms between individuals. Well, there you go. Now you can't borrow your neighbor's firearm. Number 2, ballot measure 114 creates a government registry of firearm owners. That's the big first red flag. Firearm registry. Yeah, so they can come back and find out who has them later and then confiscate the shit. Law enforcement is required to maintain an electronic searchable database of all permits issued. Well, that's just the same thing as a gun registry. Not only do they have a registry, now you have a permit if you happen to get that far and they know where you're at so they can, man, yeah. Next, law enforcement must annually report permit information, which could be disclosed to the public. Wow. Permit information includes applicant's legal name, current address, and telephone number, date and place of birth, physical description, fingerprints, photographs, any signature, and any additional information determined necessary by the law enforcement agency on the application. Okay, they want your firstborn, they want your secondborn, they want your wife, only on weekends, so on and so forth. The Supreme Court has ruled that people who are prohibited by law from possessing firearms, such as felons, people agitated, mentally incompetent, domestic violence abusers, and drug addicts, cannot be required to register firearms because doing so would violate their Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. That's what I got to say to that. 3, ballot measure 114, unconstitutionality bans ammunition magazines over 10 rounds. Okay. The NRA is currently challenging similar 10-round magazine bans in court in California and New Jersey. Sure, good luck with that. Fixed and detachable magazines capable of accepting more than 10 rounds of ammunition will be banned. You can't even have those. Shotguns, including pump action and semi-automatic, will be banned under this measure unless permanently altered. Most shotguns are capable of accepting more than 10 mini rounds, commonly used as home or self-defense rounds. Most shotguns are capable of accepting extended tubes, commonly used for depredation goose hunts. Whoa. Currently possessed magazines over 10 rounds will be limited to use on the owner's own personal property, at a shooting range, or while hunting. So basically now they are doing the firewood maneuver in Austria, but they want to do that here with firearms. In case you didn't know about that, you know that in Austria, the shit's hit the fan over there with the economy and also with, the recession and stuff like that, where Austria is loaded with forestry. They're just loaded with it. However, you as a citizen over there, if you want to keep warm in the winter because there's no fuel because of that whole mess, you know what's going on, right? All that shit. You want to go use firewood, right? To heat your house, cook your food and stuff like that. Unless you get it off your own property where you live at, you are not allowed to go into any forest land, okay, and even pick up a branch because it is illegal, because you are stealing from government-owned property. And if you get caught, it is fully punishable to the fullest extent of the law. Don't believe me? Look it up. Firewood in a forest that's owned by the government. Here, the same thing. You're allowed to go hunting, okay, on your own personal property or at a shooting range, and you have to be supervised by law enforcement to go do it. Transporting previously possessed magazines over 10 rounds must be stored and locked separately from the firearm. Can't keep it near the gun. What good is it? Law enforcement and military are only exempted for their service firearms while engaged in their official duties. So if you're off duty and you're out of uniform, no gun for you. Personal firearms will be limited to 10 rounds. Possession and use of a firearm while off duty will be limited to 10 rounds. But you can't use it. There is no affirmative defense available for magazines owned before the effective date of the ballot measure 114 if it passes in November. How do you like it, Oregon? How's that looking for you? You like that? All right, fantastic. So now that we got past the first hurdle, okay, in the state of Oregon, and that BS bill that they just got shoved down their throats, okay, this is the one that is very, very scary, all right? And this is the one that is, why are federal bureaucrats buying guns and ammo? $158 million spent by non-military agencies, right? Well, you just heard the giggler, talking about you got to ban assault weapons, right? Because the AR-15 was designed for one thing and one thing only: kill a lot of people really, really fast. Okay. All right, cool. What I don't understand is the hypocrisy, like I said in the beginning. So why is it that we have non-military agencies that just dropped $158 million buying guns and ammo? Well, let's look a little further on what they're buying and who these agencies are, shall we? And you tell me, leave comments down below, and you tell me if any of this makes any sense to you whatsoever, because I understand. I really do. But some of you out there may not understand what the hell it is these people are doing. Let's continue. The Department of Education is armed and ready with 88 law enforcement officers possessing, oh my God, arrest and firearm authority. We're talking now about the Department of Education. The ones that educate the kids or indoctrinate the kids. Okay, well, wait a minute. No, they're not your kids anymore. They're the kids of the state. There we go. Right? So, Education Department is just one of 53 federal administrative agencies purchasing guns, and we live in a dangerous world. For the 70,000 officers at Homeland Security and 40,000 officers within the Department of Justice, proper training and equipment are vital to their daily law enforcement duties. Interesting enough on that one. But understand that over nearly 2-year period, which would be the last, will be the last years of the Obama administration, fiscal year 2015 to 2016, these law enforcement agencies spent $138 million on new guns and ammunition. That seems reasonable, right? Yeah, okay. What's curious, however, is that the traditionally administrative agency spent more than $20 million for notable examples. All right. So you heard about the, what was it? 87,000, 81,000 new IRS agents, with armed to the teeth and have the authority now to lawfully use, lethal force if necessary. Well, that ain't so new. They've been doing this for a while. Check this out. The 2,300 special agents at the Internal Revenue Service are allowed to carry AR-15s, P90 tactical rifles. If you don't know what a P90 is, those of you that play Call of Duty, especially the early versions, you know what the P90 is. Look it up. Wow. And other heavy weaponry. Recently, the IRS armed up with $1.2 million in new ammunition. This was in addition to the $11 million procurement of guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment procured in or between 2006 and 2014. Take note of these years and the dates. 2, the Small Business Administration spent tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars to load its gun locker with Glocks last year. The Small Business Administration wasn't alone. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service modified their Glocks with silencers. They must be getting some pretty nasty big-ass fish if they got to use silencers, man. Ooh. 3. Oh boy, this is one that kind of hits home here with me. The Department of Veterans Affairs, the VA, has recently or has relatively new police force. They have a new police force now. In 1996, the VA had 0 employees with arrest and firearm authority. Today, the VA has 3,700 officers armed with millions of dollars worth of guns and ammunition, including AR-15s, Sig Sauer handguns, and semi-automatic pistols. What does the VA need all that weaponry for? I thought they were there to take care of the veterans. Wait. And not with medication. No, they do that already. But they tell you that they're going to give you medication, but then they really don't. But they got plenty of guns. I don't know. Are they going to come and take us out? Oh, all right. Well, 4. Meanwhile, Department of Health and Human Services agents carry the same sophisticated weapons platforms used by our special forces military warriors. HHS Gun Locker is now housed with a new national training operations center. Now they have a training operations center as well. A facility in an undisclosed location within the DC Beltway. Of course, it's probably in the underground tunnels. You know, the DUMBs, which is deep underground military bunkers. Yeah, they've been around since the country's foundings. Google that too. Last year, we replaced our openthebooks.com oversight report, The Militarization of America, in an editorial published with former U.S. Senator Dr. Tom Coburn at the Wall Street Journal. Our report quantified the $1.48 billion with a B spent by 67 non-military federal agencies on guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment from the year 2006 to 2014. This week, our organization at openthebooks.com updated our data to include gun and ammo purchases over fiscal year 2015 and a partial fiscal year 2016 spending on guns and ammo at 58 non-military federal agencies, including 40 regulatory administrative agencies, amounted to only $158 million. Just a drop in the bucket. By the way, paid by you and me. But we can't have any. They can. The continued growth of the federal arsenal begs to question, just whom are the feds planning the battle? Could it be the January 6 people? No, that was them. All right. More examples of agencies amassing firepower over the last 2 years. Ooh. Loading the gun locker. Federal agency spent $44 million on guns, including an urgent order for 20 M16 rifles with extra magazines at the Department of Energy. $49,559. Shotguns and Glock pistols at the General Services Administration. $16,568, and a bulk order of pistols, sights, and accessories by the Bureau of Reclamation, whose main job is to build dams, power plants, and canals. Ready? $697,182. So they're construction workers. Now for the government, they're armed too. Okay. Buying bullets in bulk. The government spent $114 million on ammunition, including bulk purchases by the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. Wait a minute. Aren't these the tree-hugging green people? The environmentalists? I thought they were really, really anti-gun. Well, apparently not. They're buying bullets. Lots of it. In bulk. You know? Thought the EPA was supposed to protect you against lead and, those contaminants and, gunpowder and nasty things like that. They must wear gloves. Okay. $66,927. This is the one that kills me. The Smithsonian, $42,687. And the Railroad Retirement Board, $6,941. The Social Security Administration spent $61,129 on bullets, including 50,000 rounds of ammunition plus 12-gauge buckshot and slug ammo. The Social Security Administration. The EPA special agents purchased ammunition for their .357 and 9mm revolvers and buckshot for their shotguns, while Bernie Sanders claimed that the biggest adversary to the United States was climate change. The EPA stood ready to fight in ways we couldn't have imagined. I guess the EPA is going to be shooting the oceans, because the seas are rising. Or they're going to shoot into the ground to see if they can release those hot temperatures that are warming the planet. I don't know. I'll have to research that. Leave comments down below if you guys know. Thanks. Hollow point bullets. Despite being outlawed by the Geneva Convention, federal agencies spent $426,268 on hollow point bullets, including orders from the Forest Service, National Park Service, Office of Inspector General, Bureau of Fiscal Service, as well as Drug Enforcement Administration, U.S. Marshals, and U.S. Immigration and Customs informants. I guess they'd need them. Oh boy. All right. Why does the IRS need guns? Here's a closer look at the data by agency, which is posted at openthebooks.com. Here we go. The big one. Department of Education, the DOE, is armed and ready with 88 law enforcement officers possessing arrest and firearm authority. They've purchased buckshot for their shotguns and .40 caliber ammunition for their Glocks. Department of Education special agents dress in body armor. They have to, man. You know what it is to go into schools and you have to put up with those big bullies? They need to protect themselves. They might get hit with a nice big fat spitball. Their spending on guns, ammunition, and military-style equipment was up 25% during the last 2 years under the Obama administration. Yet, in 2016, it took a pair of armed U.S. Marshals to arrest a man for his unpaid $1,500 in student loans. U.S. Marshals arrested a man for unpaid balance of $1,500 in student loans. I wonder what those new IRS agents are going to do when they come knocking on your door, because you forgot to pay $5 in income tax. I don't know. Stay tuned. Department of the Interior. The agency's mission is to manage America's vast natural and cultural resources. However, over the last 2 years, the agency spent $4.4 million on guns and ammunition. Although the National Park Service is responsible for nearly half of its spending, most to arm its park police, 6 other bureaus and offices under the Department of Interior spent millions of dollars to amass firepower. I guess when Yogi and Boo Boo get out of control, they need to take care of those pesky bears. The U.S. Geological Survey provides. These people study rocks. They do. They need to be armed too. Right? Got to shoot those pesky boulders. The U.S. Geological Survey provides real-time data and information on current conditions and Earth observations. Yet the agency loaded up on Winchester Black Shadow shotguns and bulk ammunition. Even the Office of the Inspector General armed up, purchasing Glock 27s, shotgun slugs, and frangible ammo. Just who is U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service trying to sneak up on? Told you. Orcas. The killer whales? I don't know. Maybe some sharks. Shark Week is a bitch, right? You got to shoot those things. The agency was created to conserve, protect, and enhance fish, wildlife, plants, and their habitats. But they spent $410,263 on .308 rifles, Glock pistols, and semi-automatic rifles. Then they modified their Glocks with silencers. Well, I can see that. I mean, if you need to take out, a guppy, okay, you don't want to scare off the bigger fish, right? Those guppies are nasty. Got to hit those guys with silencers. The Department of the Treasury. Treasury exists to maintain a strong economy and create economic and job opportunities and manage the U.S. government's finances and resources effectively. However, they spent $2.6 million to maintain a strong arsenal. They need to be armed also as well. Got to protect that coinage, you know what I mean? This is the one, okay, this one right here. I can't. My brain hurts. I'll let you guys leave comments and let me know how your brain feels after this one. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing spent nearly $100,000 on a purchase described as firearms, while the U.S. Mint spent $179,247 on ammunition. These are the guys that run the printing presses that print the money. They need to be armed too? Well, I guess they need to protect themselves in case somebody wants to walk away with a $20 bill after work. Got it. Okay. Now, the Bureau of Fiscal Services, tasked with promoting the financial integrity of the government through accounting, financing, etc., spent $672,424 on ammunition, including hundreds of cases of .223 Remington 62 grain service ammo, 40 caliber ammo, and buckshot. Additionally, they stocked up on Glock pistols, Remington firearms, and handgun magazine clips. That's an interesting one right there. Okay. The Bureau of Fiscal Services, okay, tasked with promoting the financial integrity of the government through accounting and financing. The bean counters. The bean counters now have to be armed also as well. I guess they're going to be the secondary backup to the IRS agents that are armed, working in conjunction with the ATF. I see how this is coming together now. The Department of Agriculture. Even agriculture spent $1.1 million on guns and ammunition. The Forest Service stocked up on .22 caliber rifles. Got to take out those squirrels, man, during squirrel season. Yummy. The National Resources Conservation Service signed a $10,347 contract with Wild West Guns, LLC, for guns through 30 millimeter. 30 millimeter. That's the kind of shit jets used to use when I was in the Navy. All right. The Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service tallied the biggest tab at the Department of Agriculture, spending $22,336 on rifles and pistols, plus nearly $500,000 on ammunition, including buckshot, shotgun shells, and rifle ammunition. In the aftermath of the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, many Washington politicians have tried shifting the conversation to the Second Amendment, reinvigorating the call for tighter gun control. But not to them, to we the people. President Trump has an opportunity to propose changes concerning gun control, but not in the way his opponents are calling for. Of course not. Trump should listen to the advice former U.S. Senator Dr. Tom Coburn memorialized at Forbes last year after the Orland nightclub massacre. The non-military, non-law enforcement, paper-pushing administrative federal agencies are the ones that should be subject to stricter gun control laws, not the general public. After grabbing legal power, federal bureaucrats are amassing firepower. It's time to scale back the federal arsenal. There you have it. So what is the deal here? Well, the deal is very simple. Okay. They do not understand that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. But they will shit all over that because this right here does not apply to them. This right here has no meaning to them. It is useless. It's garbage. Okay. They are going to do whatever the hell it is that they want to do. Okay. They're spending our taxpayer dollars. Okay. Like it's going out of style. They are arming themselves to the teeth. And the big question is, for who and what? I understand. I understand. The FDA especially. Okay. Food, man. You got to protect the food banks. From who? Us, we the people, because food's going to be the trigger. I've talked about this before. But anyway, I thought that this would be kind of interesting for today's Freedom Friday. So Kamala's talking about getting rid of the guns. Kamala's then talking about how, AR-15s are nasty, they're evil, and they kill a lot of people quickly. Yeah. But what she fails to tell you is that the majority of the mass shootings that have happened in this country, okay, are usually done with handguns. Why? Okay. So if you want to go and not that I'm condoning it, but if you want to go and you want to take out a large number of people, and let's say, and you're walking into an area where you're surrounded by a lot of people, the element of surprise is the best tactic, right? You want to go in there concealing. You don't want to go showing. How the hell are you going to conceal an AR-15? How the hell are you going to conceal an AK-47? A shotgun, for that matter. Okay, it's big, right? And when people see that, they're going to run. Yeah, kill a lot of people real fast. Okay, so then, bozos, let me ask you this. Why are your non-military agencies stocking up on all this massive firepower, including military-style vehicles? For what? Seriously, for what? Are you afraid that we the people are going to revolt? Are you afraid for another January 6th? But this time, amassing massive firepower? What are you, stupid? Do you honestly think that an educated, responsible, God-fearing, Constitution-loving, American is going to go and create and resort to violence? Sorry, ain't going to happen. You guys want us to, but we're not dumb. We already know. We're not falling for that. Okay? We're not falling for that. But you want us to. No, you're there because you're scared and you're armed to the teeth because you're scared. You want it, you want to put that stuff to good use? Use it to the real enemy. And it ain't we the people. Okay? It's the CCP. And all these other governments that want our asses. Use it towards them. But you have your military to do that for you. So again, it makes no sense why you want to disarm the civilian population, but yet you want to be armed to the teeth. It is you that want to do away with the AR-15. You want to do away with semi-automatic rifles, handguns, and stuff like that. But you hate guns so much. But the hypocrisy here, like I said in the beginning, is that you're surrounded by your own security that is armed with those exact same weapons. Okay, so where is, where's the common sense here? Well, there is none. The bottom line is this, okay? We the people, you want us disarmed because that gives you power and control, just like it's happened in every country that has fallen by the wayside of socialism and communism, and I lived that already, all right? I experienced when they came to my dad's front door and they knocked on it and they took his guns, okay, by force. They were armed. Oh, but we were doing the revolution a great favor, okay? We were contributing to the shortage that, they didn't have all that much of weaponry to fight, the Yankee imperialists up north that were going to invade us any day now. A real crock of shit. If you enjoy this kind of content, as you can see in the streamer below, please go ahead and give a like. Go ahead and subscribe. Share this with as many people as you can. We are on a hot mission to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost at the halfway point already, according to my most recent numbers, and it's all because of you and your current support. So please, if you got value out of this, just do me a favor and hit that up. I've got links down below. Okay, for Buy Me a Coffee. Patreon is coming soon. As soon as I get to 1,000 subs, we'll go ahead and put a website online because I will be bringing some gear. Okay, for you guys out there. I hope you enjoyed this today. I'm sorry if I went a little bit long, but that was a lot of information I wanted to share with you. Again, the hypocrisy, okay, of gun control and gun rights. It's good for them, not good for us. With that, I will catch you on the next one. Enjoy and have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Take care.